Oh boy, I made it all the way to the end of the Sweet Valley High series. Yeah, I skipped about 100 books, but I don't care. This is the final trilogy. It's about their junior prom. Not to be confused with the other 5 proms they had so far this year.
Argofunk Book Review, Argofunk Book Review.
We start with a brief recap of the previous trilogy. Elizabeth fell madly in love with Devon, the bad boy with a heart of gold. So there was yet another love triangle where Elizabeth couldn't decide whether to date the new guy or her steady boyfriend Todd. In the end, she decided to break up with both of them. Sounds good to me. Also, Todd asked Elizabeth to marry him, then he drove her Jeep off a cliff. What? Time out! What? He proposed and attempted suicide? Could I get a few more details on this story? No! The book casually mentions it and moves on. Figures the one time I actually want to hear an extended recap. Elizabeth is on the prom planning committee, and there is drama because Todd's also on the committee. The two of them love each other so much they can barely handle being in the same room together. He stares at her, and he can't pay attention because he can't think of anything besides her. It would be romantic if it wasn't so pathetic. Devon, on the other hand, hates proms. They're a waste of time, totally artificial and manufactured. He'd never go to one, unless Elizabeth asked him. He loves her more than anything. When he hears Elizabeth and Todd are on a committee together, Devon has a breakdown because his poor little heart can't take it. So yeah, both the guys are being ridiculous. Elizabeth is better off without them. Jessica talks with Amy, who won't shut up about her boyfriend, which is a problem because Jessica won't shut up about the hair clip she just bought. They interrupt each other for several pages, and the conversation finishes after Amy warns Jessica to get a prom date before it's too late. This is the second time in 2 chapters the book has mentioned Jessica not getting a prom date. I wonder where the book is going with this. Elizabeth talks with her friends. As we know from past books, Elizabeth is a total wimp when it comes to love triangles. Instead of talking to the guys or taking initiative, she decides to do nothing. She sits back and waits for one of the boys to ask her to prom. Whoever asks her out first gets to be her boyfriend. The idea is that she'll date the guy who loves her most, only she broke up with them in the last book. So it's more like whoever disrespects her wishes first gets to be her boyfriend. Jessica drags Elizabeth to the mall for dress shopping. Elizabeth can't decide what to buy. Todd would like that dress, but Devon would love this dress. It's a dress love triangle. Much better than a furniture love triangle. Like, I thought the table would decide to marry the dresser. They had true love together. Instead, the table's choice was a one-night stand. Todd goes tuxedo shopping with the guys, and he's confident that he'll date Elizabeth again soon. Devon also decides to make a play for Elizabeth after talking to his guardian. It's not explained why he has a guardian. I'm guessing his real parents were killed by the author in order to give him a tragic backstory. Jessica and Lila can't decide who to take to prom, so they make a list of every guy in school, complete with their worst qualities. They have lots of fun writing up insults like mindless jock and kisses like a live jellyfish. Lila says they should keep the list safe, so Jessica puts it inside her room. Haha, just kidding. Jessica puts the top secret list in one of Elizabeth's books, because Jessica is an idiot. Sure enough, Elizabeth brings the book to a prom meeting, and the list is discovered. Winston reads it over the school announcement system, and now every guy at Sweet Valley High hates Jessica and Lila. Oh no, they'll never find prom dates. If you ask me, they got what they deserved. Chapter 8 starts with a weird scene. Elizabeth is on a ladder taking measurements. Todd is holding the ladder, and he starts fantasizing about her ankles. He wants to run his finger along them. He wants to kiss them, and his mouth goes dry when she shifts positions. She reaches up, revealing more of her ankles, and he can't help himself. He has to touch them. And what am I reading? Why did this book turn into ankle-based smut? Right when Todd is about to ask Elizabeth and her ankles to prom, Devon appears and joins the prom committee. Todd wants to punch him. At the next meeting, Elizabeth cuts her finger. Devon can't stand to see her in pain, so he helps clean the wound. He kisses her hand to help make the boo-boo feel better. At the exact same moment, Todd shows up with a bouquet of roses, ready to sweep Elizabeth off of her feet. Of course, Todd sees Devin kissing Elizabeth's hand, and he jumps to the wrong conclusion. Todd comes up with a stupid plan to win Elizabeth back. He decides to get her attention by dating her arch-nemesis, Courtney Kane. The idea is to make Elizabeth jealous, and Todd, you're an idiot. Dating Elizabeth's rival is not going to endear you to her. Devin is about to ask Elizabeth to prom when Todd and Courtney interrupt. This inspires Devin to make up his own stupid plan to win Elizabeth back. First, he asks her out on a date. Then he writes her a love letter pretending it's from Todd. The letter says to meet on the beach right away. Elizabeth blows off the date with Devin to meet with Todd. He is furious, and he decides it's over between them for good. But he doesn't know that she's meeting with Todd so she can break up with him for good. It's a dramatic cliffhanger, but don't get too wrapped up in it, because we're going to throw it under the rug in the first chapter of the next book. Elizabeth's friends also have prom problems. Blubber Johnson, the football star, awkwardly attempts to flirt with Enid. She doesn't like him, and she goes out of her way to avoid him. In the end, he corners her and asks her to prom. She still dislikes him, but nobody else wants to date her, so she says yes. Maria spends the book complaining that prom's silly and she doesn't want a boyfriend, but she changes her mind when a hot supermodel falls into her lap. Lucky her. Jessica and Lila advertise for prom dates in all the local high school newspapers. Amazingly, there are a ton of guys who answer the ad. I guess the town is full of desperate teenagers. The girls both fall in love with the same guy, Jordan. They fight over him until they realize it's not worth it. No guy is more important than their friendship. They agree that neither one of them will date Jordan. Of course, this is a lie. Jessica and Lila are traitorous jerks. They only call a truce so they can stab each other in the back. Lila secretly asks Jordan to prom on the phone. 5 minutes later, Jessica asks him in person. He agrees to go with both of them, a plan which is sure to backfire. Knowing Jessica, she'll blame Jordan for everything. The end. Post-book follow-up. I thought this was a good book, and a good way to end the series. An end-of-year prom makes sense as a grand finale. Elizabeth Todd love drama is the most common storyline for her, and Jessica's crazy scheme backfires is her most common storyline. So we're going out on a familiar note. There are frequent references to earlier books and characters, almost like this is a Best of Sweet Valley High clip show. Surprisingly, this works well. I especially liked seeing Courtney Kane reappear, as she was the series' most memorable villain. Well, at least the most memorable villain out of all the books I read. She didn't say anything at all in this book, though, which was kind of a bummer. So, it's a good premise, and it's executed well as a series finale. My only real issue is with the love triangle. It didn't work for me because Devin and Todd exaggerated everything, to the point where Elizabeth looks at someone is considered major, life-changing drama. It probably would have worked better if they brought back one of Elizabeth's old boyfriends for this. Instead, it's Elizabeth choosing between Todd and the random guy she just met. From what I can tell, they just had an entire trilogy about Devin. 2 Devin-Todd love trilogies in a row? That's asking too much from fans. Overall, I like this book. It's a good setup for a series finale. Let's hope we can keep the good momentum going. I give Sweet Valley High number 141 a picture-perfect prom, an 8.5 out of 10.